What's going on, YouTube? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Monster Legends. I want to thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button to show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, as you can see here, it is the last few days of the race. And by few, I mean 2. And by 2, I mean like a day and a half, but whatever. We're going to go ahead and grab all this loot up like normal, and then we're going to check on our race and stuff like that. So let's get all this loot gathered up. Get this food regrowing. And do all this. Right. There we go. Alright, so we got that out of the way. Let's go check on our race really fast like. See what we got going on here. Well, we still got a really ugly node. This one's probably the worst one we've run into so far. 9 epics from one person. Pretty much what that says is Jim me finished because you're not going to get this done normally. But that's okay. We still got a pretty decent lead on the 4th team, which means we're going to get, hopefully, with everything works out good, we should end up with the 3rd place, which means we'll get 3 million food plus individual rewards, which means I'll get 8 million food total. Hot dog 8 million food is what I'm talking about. But speaking of food, we got quite a bit of it. We're not going to use all of it. We're going to level up Thades here to level 100 because we've got the food, we might as well. So we're going to do that really fast. Not going to take any time at all. Boom. Level 100. Dun da da da! Amazing! You to miss. Alright, so Thades here is maxed at 100, and that's going to bring us into what we're going to talk about today, and that's going to be food. This is going to be the all about food episode. So starting off, there's going to be a screenshot coming up right about meow. This is going to be all of the unranked monsters feeding. Now, there's a difference between ranked monsters feeding and unranked monsters. The ranked monsters take more. We'll get into that in a second. But I love having charts like this that I can take screenshots of, so feel free to take screenshots because it helps me know what I need to save to level things up, because I'm really weird. Like, I only level stuff up in, like, levels of 5. I don't know why, I just do. So, it's nice to know how much food I'm going to need to get there. That's why I love stuff like this. Alright, so this next picture here is going to be the ranked monsters feeding. Now, you'll notice it's quite a bit more expensive, and it does go by each rarity, because the increased cost isn't activated until you hit the monster's initial max level. So, if you have a rank 5 Firestore at level 1, it's still going to take the normal amount of food to level him up to 40, because that's where he initially maxes. But once you start hitting to level 41, that's when the food increase kicks in. So you'll notice that taking a Firestore to level 70 takes almost double what it takes to take a Legendary to level 100. There's a reason for that. Ranking up monsters is kind of an in-game thing. It's not something you really want to focus on doing early, because you're probably building up a normal base of maxed out monsters that are, normally maxed. So it does take a lot of food, especially when you get into ranking up legendaries to 130. Very, very expensive. So that's going to be all of the ranked monsters food. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that if you want to. That's why I made them. And now we're going to get into the ways you can get food. Now, you can get food in tons of ways. Your Team Wars loot, you can get tons of it from there. Obviously, growing food and stuff like that. Your roulette spins, the adventure map, PvP battles. I don't know if it's Gold Fever that has, like the Fight Kings little event, these like 2-3 day deals that come around all the time. I don't know if that gives food as one of like the steps rewards. I can't really remember. But there's one of those that does that. Anyways, with that out of the way, the food dungeon is like the only dungeon dedicated to food. And there's actually, I think, one currently on or over. Well, I already finished mine. But I looked and looked and looked, and I couldn't find anywhere where anyone actually had mathed out how much food you get from a food dungeon. So, I grabbed my handy-dandy notebook, and I did the math for you. And, obviously not in this one, because there's birthday ticket rewards, as you can see right there. That makes it, changes the numbers a little bit. But in a normal food dungeon, the absolute minimum amount of food you can get is 195,000 food. So nearly 200k, and that's minimum. That's saying every time you spin the wheel, you get 1,500 food. Now, you're going to get a lot of those, but you'll still get some 5,000s. If you're lucky, you'll get some 20,000s. So you get minimum 200 grand food pretty much out of a food dungeon. So that's nice to know. Also, the growing food. Now, this is where there's different strategies people use, like for their growing foods. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel one of these so we can talk about it. And by cancel, I mean apparently you can't cancel that, so we're just going to gem one done because I said gym. There you go. Give it to me. Now, check out the grow food here. Da-da-da. I gemmed the wrong one because I'm stupid. We're going to have to gem another one here because I'm retarded. Let's go up here. We're going to gem this one done. Yeah, 2 wasted gems. Such a doofus. Alright, so here we go. The reason I want to gem one of these because it has all of the foods that you can grow. There's a lot of different methods I see people use. Some people like to have like 4 farms total, and that's okay if you're looking for space, if space is your biggest issue and you've got tons and tons of gold, and they just grow 4 of the expensive foods and kind of say, you know, screw it with the rest of the farms because I don't need them all. This is alright, but it's definitely not the way you want to go if gold is still tough for you to get, because if you run 4 farms, and you grow the cheapest of the expensive foods, that's going to be the green rockets right here, you're looking at 2 million gold to grow 40,000 food. And you'll notice right here, the rainbow snow peas, if you just have all your farms out, farms? If you have all your farms out growing these, it takes about a little over a million gold to grow full straight snow peas, but you get 42,000 food. So you're looking at literally double the gold cost for the same amount of food. It just saves you some space. So it's not a horrible idea, especially if you have a lot of gold waiting around. It's not really, you don't want a bunch of farms in your way. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I just prefer to have all 14 farms going because, you know, that's just the best way for me to do it. I like it that way. Now, you'll notice that all these top 3 foods you can grow, the black lotus, the black lotus, the winged angel beans, and the garden rockets, those all have the exact same gold to food ratio. It's 50 to 1. So it's going to cost you the same to grow these in, you know, gold ratio wise as it will to grow these. It's just way more expensive because you're growing much more of it at once. Just heads up there. The rainbow snow peas are half that. They're 25 to 1 gold ratio. I recommend for sure you grow the rainbow snow peas. That is my advice to you, especially early on. As soon as you can start growing rainbow snow peas in all your farms, do it. It's the best way to go. Obviously, if you can't afford that yet, then you will scroll down. You'll just grow one of these, you know, red tiger nuts or fresh jungle peanuts. I don't know, whatever you want to grow that's not quite there. But rainbow snow peas are the best. And this leads us into the farming guardian. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. 2 gems just to get some food. Anyways, so farming guardian. Mine is still in disrepair because I have looked at the stats and that's going to show up right meow. Alright. You'll notice it's very expensive to activate your farming guardian, at least for me. I have 35 million food I wish I had 35 million food. Wow. I have 35 million gold right now, so it would take almost all the gold I have just to activate its ability once for a 25% increase in my food production. And at that rate, 26 million gold, I'm better off just growing the more expensive foods and saying screw the farming guardian. So when you get to the point where you have tons of gold, because it is very expensive. I mean, to activate it all the way is, what, 290 million gold? That's a lot of gold. And don't get me wrong, it's not badly spent gold if you have it, because it can help you a lot in certain things, like the growth spurt event, like the Fight Kings and the Gold Fever, when they asked you to grow, feed your monsters food. If you have tons and tons of food you can grow very quickly, you can obviously place very high in that. And that's very useful because you can get gems, which is good. You want gems. So for like the growth spurt events, the harvester events where it's just about growing food, very useful to have a farming guardian maxed out on those. But again, it's very expensive, so once you get there, it's totally good to do it. But early game, don't even mess with it. Don't even touch it. Don't even look at it. Don't even think about it. Anyway, another good place that shines is not just the little mini events like the Fight Kings, but also the 72-hour challenge, where you got to get points like the coins you can flip the cards over with, because it goes off of how many points of food you grow, how much gold you collect. So if you have this thing maxed out and you're growing 5 million foods in all your farms, you are going to get a truckload of coins very quickly. So that's going to allow you to get more of those monsters out, probably all 3 of them. So that's a great way to exchange some of your gold into getting legendary monsters. 72-hour challenge, you definitely want to be activating your farming guardian if you can, because it's very important there. Also, it's very helpful in team races when you have things like you need to feed 1 million food to monsters and stuff like that. Being able to grow a lot of food very quickly can really help that go faster. So those are the situations that the farming guardian really shines. The that's pretty much all there is to food. There's not a whole bunch about it, but there is some useful tips and tricks like that, you know. Grow your rainbow snow peas. If you can afford your guardian, give me some of your gold because you're very rich. Stuff like that. Anyways, that's going to be today's episode. It's going to be pretty quick, not a lot going on. It's just, I wanted to get the food guide stuff out there because I've had it ready for a while now. I just haven't made the video on it. But it's something that's the kind of stuff I like to see. Like, I like to know, like, numbers and things because I'm a nerd. So, I want to share it with you guys. So, if you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, don't forget to leave those in the down there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you liked the video, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button to show your support, and I will see you guys next time.